Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to work on some more of the Lapbook that I'm making with a steampunk theme. And here is your sneaky peek. Let me get in here. I've been working on my report for Stone Cold, and I'm having to get into a few things with, with that I've written in the past and trying to piece it all together. And oh, it's like a mind sore to try to work it all out, and get all the pieces of the puzzle together. Okay, so here, this is my grandma, and I guess I'm starting where I'm showing pictures of her with the children. Like over here, she was with Bill, and I had this one that I think is my aunt or my Uncle Fred. Yeah, that's my Uncle Fred, and then that was Bill, and she didn't really take that many pictures with the girls. It was always like the guy, the male. So anyhow, here she is with Uncle Robert. And see, Aunt Lucy got included, but just because she was the uh, child before him. And this was in 1921. And Uncle Bob was named Robert Martin Markham. And I found out that the doctor that delivered him, Dr. R.M. Akers, that was his name. And so that's how he came about with being that name. Lucy was named by her uncle, Uncle Leif. He had a girlfriend at the time named Lucy, and she was also delivered by Doc Akers in 1919. So let's see. Aunt Lucy was telling me about a story when they lived up on Stone Coal near where Leif Salmon's big house stood, and he had a store there near the house and a big swinging bridge that went across the creek. Lucy had been sent down to get a container full of kerosene and then bring it back. She said Sadie, Leif's daughter, must have known she didn't like swinging bridges because Sadie went and ran the can halfway across the swinging bridge just to spite Lucy. So Aunt Lucy picks up a disc or a sliver of cut wood, like a frisbee almost, where they had been doing some lumbering there. And she tossed it out like a frisbee at Sadie on the bridge. Aunt Lucy caught her right on the upper lip with it and made it bleed. Aunt Lucy said she got in trouble for that later on. Now, this one is a picture of Aunt Lucy with her cousin Marie. And let's see. Over here is... Actually, this is almost like a reverse, because this is Aunt Irene and Uncle Howard. So she's the baby in this one, which is the first one I've seen like that. Now, this is Aunt Reen with her little coat that she said her dad got her. And this is that third photo that was taken at that snowball bush over on Stone Coal right before they left. So she's sitting there holding that. It's got like a message on the back that Dee had written because it was taken in Stone Coal right before they left on the train to come over, and then it was mailed over. And these are all these are March babies. Uncle Harold and Irene, they're both March babies. And here's another story Aunt Lucy told me. Said Poppy owned vehicles when we lived in Stone Coal. He owned a truck first, and we'd ride on the back and go out to Grandpa Markham's. We had such fun at Grandpa Markham's. He had cherry trees. I remember him riding over to our house in Stone Coal on his mule, and he'd bring a big bag of cherries for us kids. No wormholes at all, and the best cherries I've ever eaten. He never sprayed them, so I don't know how he kept the worms off them. When I was 6 years old, Poppy owned a Nash. It was a big old thing. Had 3 seats, some folded and turned back. Poppy was always good to Mommy. They would go to church over in West Virginia, and once they moved over here, Poppy and Mommy went to church every Sunday. He always went to the sacrament where they washed your feet, and we'd all get dressed up to go. I had a big bow in my hair and new shoes. Yeah. And there's more more to the story, but I'm going to stop there. Now, I was just reading in some of my notes that when Cleve and Rhoda moved to Stone Cold, there wasn't a church then. So that was about 1914 to 17, somewhere in there. So I guess at that point, they hadn't had a church to come in. Now, I've gotten this piece inked up. I've included where I want these to be on here. But I went in here and I inked up everything around the edges, but just with some vintage photo oxide. And then I also went in here and put some of the washi tape just to strengthen all my seams and spines. Now this lady, I'm going to put her on here. I just need to find a little bit of something maybe to put around the outside, or to put some kind of a matting kind of a paper behind her. And then this one over here is a little on the bigger side. So I'm going to have her kind of overlap. So I'm going to probably have some kind of other image or something to be over here. And then I had a few of these pockets that I found. Now they're a little on the larger side, some of them. That one's just about right. But this one's a little longer. So I'm going to have to cut it down a bit, just to fold it in a bit on the sides, and then it'll be fine. And then this, I don't know if it's a pocket or actually something to tuck in, but I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of work on it as well. Just a little bit. Like I could cut this side over here with that dark blue on it. I'm not crazy about it. I like to keep him on his bike though. Alright, so those are going to work in here. I've also got 2 more file folders to work with, because I kind of got rid of those last 3 I used. They're kind of right here. But I needed some flips and flops to go in here. So that's what these are for. I also need to go through my paper. Now I've pulled out the one with the tags on it and the one with the journal cards. But I need to go in here and figure out where I want what. Now this one I don't know whether I want to use the top or the front. And then there's one here, I know, yeah, this one. Now this one, I can go ahead and get it working here, because it is to go on the inside. I might actually go ahead and fold her so I can get that folded over. Okay. We'll go ahead and do that. Chestita sent this to me, so she's got her little note on the back. There we go. So I can actually get in here and work with it a little better. But where I had planned to put this clock was like right here, where the 2 pieces would be unfolded. The clock would be right here. So I need to get in here and I need to cut it. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut it right down through the center. And then I need to cut it down. I actually can go ahead and cut it right here and here. And then I'd be able to keep the time machine word and this down at the bottom intact. So I'll do it that way. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this off right here. And see how that works out. Yep, perfect spot. Now see, I've got that I can use on something else. I'll set that over here to the side. And we'll do the same on the bottom. Okay, and I got all those little gadgets I can use. And then this is going to be cut right through the center. So this is a 12 of 12, so we're going to cut it at 6. There we go. I went right through midnight. And what we're going to do is place this down in here. Now I may have to cut off some of this edge here, which I do believe I am. And we're going to cut it Give it just about that much. This can also be used on something if I need to. Okay, that's that. And then, let me see if I can cut about the same amount here. That may have been a little bit bigger than it needed to be. Okay. Alright, so that part is done. And this is just going to be a visual. It's not going to have any tuck spots or anything like that. So, let me get this out of the way. And we get in here and fix that. I don't have anything that's actually going down the side, so that could be where I add in that piece that I cut off the top and the bottom. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get in here with some of this. I've already inked around here with the vintage photo, so I don't think I need to add any more ink. And like I said, since this does not have anything that needs to be attached to it, like on the inside, I'm going to be probably adding some flips and flops and things like that. So that's where you need to think about what you're going to put after or on top before you glue down what's underneath. I think that's the biggest trick with these lap books, to know what to glue down when. Alright, let's go ahead and put this down. And have it about right there in the center. That works for me. Smooth it out a little bit. Now some of these little pieces that you cut off, like these here, those can maybe go on the spine part. I'll leave that right over here because I got a couple of spines that I need to cover with something. And that's where you could use up some of those. Yeah, I've been reading through a few of my stories thinking maybe I had put some deed information in it. Because it would take two of my couples, let's say, like my grandparents. And then I would write down all the information I could find about them. Where they lived, what they did for a living, all the children, when they married, those kind of things, you know. I guess the statistics, the statistics on the person. Gosh, I can't even talk. But yeah, so I was finding some interesting things that I didn't even remember having anywhere else. I'd wrote these reports a long time ago. Oops. And as you can see, I had a little bit of the Staples word there, but I think I'm okay. I think it's to the point that you don't really notice it. I can get in here with something else, maybe a little whiteout, something to kind of cover that up. Although I don't really notice it, to tell you the truth. All right, now where is the... Here are the two little frames, or not frames, spines that I was talking about. And I don't know that these would work, or if I can wait. I may wait. All right, my next step, and what would that be? So I got that done. She needs to go down, and I'm trying to figure out if I want anything in behind her, or what. Okay, I'm going to take this piece that is the cover, and I'm actually going to see if I can use this background, at least for this lady. I don't know if I'll have enough for that one, but it will at least go on here. Oh, goodness. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming to visit. Come and see what I had to do today. Everybody seems to be enjoying this. They're always Always happy to see something new from me. I don't know that that many people are liking this art journal that I'm doing. And it's relaxing, though. It's something that's kind of therapeutic for me. So, but I don't know how many of you would like to visually watch me do it. That's the problem. So I guess chime in if you're still interested in seeing the art journaling, or if you just like to see what I come up with after the fact. Maybe that's it. All right. I'm going to get on here and see how big I need to make this. Of course, there's only going to be the brown mark on 2 of the sides. They're not going to be on the whole piece. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut this down. I may have to put something else on this other side. Okay. There. I'll do a little bit of inking just to darken the edge. And I'll see if I've got enough of this other one to work with that page. I just may. So we're going to take our vintage photo. Maybe I need the darker one. Yeah, I think I need something darker. That's not quite doing it. Let's go ahead with the scorched timber. Can you see it up there? Okay. So I'm going to go in here with, oh yeah, that's a little better because see, it matches with the dark that's already on the other side. Yeah. But so I'm still doing all this craziness. There was a picture. I would search for something with stone coal on Google, and this picture comes up because there's actually, Wayne County is where stone coal is at. So there was a photo that somebody had posted, and it shows a train going through there. It shows like the water tower way in the background. And that's cool because we saw the water tower while we were over there, but it's not, it's just the base. Where the water tower itself, and I guess where the siphon or something, because that's where the trains would come through and fill up with water. I guess it was when the steam railroad was still going through. So that was cool that you could see that in the background. You could see all the tracks. It was about 6 tracks because, what did they call that? Oh, I can't even remember. When you pull a couple of train cars over to the side to let them sit while other trains can go by and that kind of thing. Well, that was there. And then you had a a little building there that they used to go and I guess get something for the trains out of it. And then we had a store building or a house over to the right. And I just found that guy's name on, I think, the 1910 census. So I know that that is part of stone coal, because sometimes you can't really tell on the census, especially on the older ones. So is anybody else going to try to work with this with me? I don't know. I was going to try to put some dimensions or something on here, but it's kind of like whatever you feel like coming up with size-wise. There's only a few key elements you have to worry about, which like on the first video I was showing you, you had to make sure that your pieces that are going inside here, folding inside, are smaller than your base papers. That's the one thing I was trying to come up with. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Let's see if I can get that to lay down. There. Those colors almost go together really well, don't they? I was surprised at that because I don't think I really had planned on these two to work together. These were just pieces that Chestita had sent me. So she always does beautiful steampunk items. So that's that. Okay. So we have that done and that done. I may still add something here. I'm still debating. All right, let's get that folded up and figure out our next one here. Oh, I dropped my little towel. There we go. Now, this one, I'm sure I'm going to have to cut that in half because I don't want to bind up my, my joint here. So we need to see if this will fit. Oh, yeah. It's a little bit bigger than I need it to be, so that's perfect. Okay. And of course, this piece is not going to be able to be spread over to the other side. That's the only problem, so I'll have to find another paper to go over there. Okay, so this is going to be cut off like right here. And then right here. I gotta get back in there and do some more inking. And then I have to cut this piece right there. I think, is that enough? I might actually cut it a little bit inward. I might actually cut it right there. Oh, then you can see more of that lady there. That's good. Now this is rounded off, but I don't think I'm going to worry about that. And then I need to get my scorched timber out again. Okay. It's kind of interesting. I'm trying to figure out where Leif had that great big old house up Stone Cold. I'm getting confused. The way it's coming out on the census and how I understand it, I don't know. I need to get some more deeds and try to figure them out. I think that might be my only safe bet. All right, let's get this on here. I thought it was going to be a nice warm day today, but it's still a little chilly. We had a chilly wind yesterday and a chilly wind out there today. I guess that's regular spring weather, right? Okay. Whoops. Now put this here. I'm trying to reflect one side to the other, having the same kind of image and layout kind of a situation. So I think I put a little bit more fabric tack on here than I meant. There we go. Now I got to put my lady. And I'm not going to ink around her because I want her to kind of stand out. I do think I am going to cut the corner though. Yeah. And then I'll go ahead and cut this corner as well. Tell you the truth, this bit here could be a tag, like a tall tag that I could place elsewhere. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Instead of wrapping it around, this will help make it more uniform. Okay, come on. Come on. I got a few more things on scrapbook.com I got to look at to see if I want to order. And I really like that rice paper. I really do. So it might be that I get some more of it. If for no other reason than just to plan my art journal with it. Okay. Let's see if we can get that right there in the center. Here we go. Now the inside part is mostly where I'm going to have any kind of interesting items happening. Where most of the bulk is going to be happening, that type of thing. So as you can see here, you know what the cover was going to have on it. I have that paper over here as well. I think it was that last page, this one. Yeah. So let's get in there and see what we can do to cover that up. Need to get my pencil. Get in here and hopefully I can be able to see it. Sometimes if you have that kind of a situation, you might think to go for like the white there. I can see that a whole lot better. And I'll stick that right here. And I'll cut that down. Let's see what I need to cut on this side. Okay. That works for me. Get that out of the way. This is kind of fun. Just kind of, you know, using up what you've got. I've had this laying around for a while. This steampunk situation. And I've been needing to get to it. Okay, there's that one. And then this one. That's a really tiny piece, but I don't know if I need that. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead. I'm not going to do any inking on these two. I don't really need that to be inked. But I am going to go ahead and secure them down. Now this part here where the spine's at, I will put something else. A piece of paper. Maybe the item with the time machine, that word. That would probably be a good thing to put there. So, after I get these put down, we'll see about that. I don't know that I'm going to put my my train, my covers down. That's going to go on the front here. I may see if I need to put anything around the edge of the piece before I secure it down. Okay, and then this piece. Okay. I do like the colors in this, the teal and the browns. They really add a little bit of age and nostalgia look to it. Okay. Okay. Here, just kind of wipe this down. Whoops. I keep snagging that corner up there. Oh, okay. And let me get this one piece that's got Time Machine on it. And see what this might look like. I think I would do good there. Either that or I can use this crazy looking thing. You know, I kind of like that better. Yeah. So let's go ahead and cut this back a bit. Get it cut down to the other side. Is that right? Oh, it's still a little bit too big. All right. Let's go back over here. Come down a little bit more. Whoops, it moved. All right, let's see. It's still a little bit on the large side, isn't it? Let's see what happens when I fold it. Oh, rats, it's a little on the big side. Oh. Let's see, one more cut. Okay, I think I got it cut down just right now. And I am going to go around the outside with my scorched timber just to give it a clean, not a white edge. I don't want that white edge showing. And I guess grungy goes really well with doing anything with steampunk. Okay. Well, I didn't have any birthday cake. We had cheesecake. I don't know, Red Lobster just doesn't have a good chocolate cake. That one that they've got has those old chocolate chips on the spine of it. I don't like, they're kind of waxy. All right, so that looks good. And like I said, I'm going to have the train going on the front of it. So I just needed a little bit of a background there for that. And then the other one will be on the back side. So, yep. And I've got a few more of these up there that I may put on the back. Or I may put inside here somewhere. I've also got this butterfly left over that I'm wondering if I can't put in here. Maybe like that. Although you can't really see the gears when I do that. Once I put it on the outside, I still have to finish it. I've got to do my foundry wax on here. This was grit paste, and I still had to put the foundry wax on there. I don't think this would work well in the center. Yeah. The only place I could put this is maybe along the edge like that. We'll see. We'll see. I'll decide to do it. Well, I think I'm actually going to call it a day. I'm just doing sort of short videos from now on and building it up a little each time. I just haven't got the oomph anymore. So when we get back, we will start working on the inside in here. And we'll start making some of those flip ups and flip outs. We'll figure out where these pockets need to go, that type of thing. So I think we got a good bit done today, and I hope you enjoyed watch me put the first bits of paper on here. It's starting to get a little heft to it. So if you thought your file folder might be a little too skinny or weak, don't worry about that, because once you cover the paper on the front and the back of it, it really adds a lot of heft to it. Okay, well, I really want to thank you for coming to visit and join me and see what I was going to show you today. And everybody take care. Bye-bye.